Hi guys, now in this module, we'll learn how to find the sum of terms of an AP. Like for example, I give you an AP 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and I ask you to find how calculate the total. That is what we'll be learning in this module. If you remember from the first module, I told you there are only three equations that you need to learn in AP or three formulas. First was A of n plus equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. Now the other two formulas you learn in this module. What are the other two formulas? S of n equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into D. This is one, and the other formula is also for S of n, that is sum of n terms, n by 2 into a plus L. Now in the first formula, I am sure you know what it stands for. S of n stands for sum of n terms of an AP. So if there are 5 terms, S of 5 will stand for sum of first, and remember it is sum of first n terms of an AP. It is not from middle to end or something like that. When you say S of n, it is sum of first n terms from first term till the nth term. N, you know how many terms are there. A, you know, is the first term. N again stands for how many terms you are adding, and D gives you is for common difference. Generally you will use this formula. In case you know the first and last term of an AP, you will use this formula. Very simple formula, n by 2. Let's say there are 100 terms, n will become 100. If there are 20 terms, n will be 20. A will be the first term and L will be the last term. So this formula you use when you know the first and last term. Otherwise you use this formula. That is all you need. These are the second and third formulas, and these are the only formulas that you need to learn in AP. Alright guys, we'll solve a problem now. The question is, find the sum of first 12 terms, which means they have asked us to find S of 12. First 12 terms, S of 12 of AP, minus 12, minus 10, minus 8, so on. Alright, now which formula will we use? Do we know the last term? No, which means we cannot use this. We'll be using this formula. To know this formula, what and all do we need to know? We need to know n. What is the n? They have told us to find the sum of first 12 terms. So n is 12. We need A. A is the first term, that is minus 12. And D. We need to find D. D is minus 10 minus of minus 12. Remember, second term minus first term. So D will be plus 2. It is a increasing AP. Since negative numbers, since they are negative, this is actually a increasing AP. So minus 10 minus of minus 12 becomes plus 2. Right? So now we know N, A and D. We can find S of 12 using that formula. So what will be S of 12? N, that is n by 2, that is 12 by 2 into 2A, that is 2 into minus 12 plus n minus 1, that is 12 minus 1 into D, that is 2. 2 ones are 6 are, so 6, and we get 2 into minus 12 minus 24, 12 minus 1 11, 11 into 2 plus 22. So 6 into minus 24 plus 22 minus 2. So answer is minus 12. The sum of the first 12 terms of this AP will be equal to minus 12. Alright, now the question is, the first and last terms of an AP are 1 and 11, which means they have given us A, that is the first term, and last term. If the sum of its terms is 36, sum of its terms, so they are not told us sum of how many terms. So S of n is 36, find the number of terms. So when they ask us to find the number of terms, what do we do? What do we need? We need to find n. Remember from previous module, if you knew the n value for the last term, you could find the number of terms. But we cannot use that formula. Why? Because we do not know D and we cannot find D just from this data, right? So in this case, we can use the second formula for sum of n terms, that is S of n equal to n by 2 into A plus L. We know S of n, they have given us, it's 36. N is what we need to find. So n by 2 into A plus L, that is 1 plus 11. So I get 36 equal to n by 2 into 1 plus 11 is 12 2 ones are 6 are. I transpose this 6 on the other side, I'll get n equal to 36 by 6. So 6 ones are 6 6 are. So n is equal to 6, which means how many terms are there? 6 terms in the AP. Now you know how many terms are there. You can actually find D. Let's say in the question that asks you to find D as well, common difference. Now you know n. There are 6 terms, which means the last term, 11th term is the 6th term, because there are 6 terms and 11 is the last term. So now using the previous formula, that is A of n. A of n is 11, A of n equal to A, that is 1, plus n minus 1, that is n minus 1, n is 6, 6 minus 1, 5, D. So I bring this 1 this side, it becomes 11 minus 1 equal to 5D, 10 equal to 5D. So D equal to 10 by 5, that is 2. So what is the common difference? 2. So you could have found D as well. Alright, another problem on sum of n terms. They have given the sum of n terms of an AP is 4n square plus 15. The sum of n terms is this. What does it mean? S of n is equal to 4n square plus 15. This is what they have given, which means you will not use the two formulas which we have learned. In this particular problem, they have given you which formula to use. So S of n is denoted by 4n square plus 15. So to find S of n, this is the formula you will use, not the other two formulas. It is similar to the problem we discussed in the first module, if you remember. Nth term of an AP is of the form 7 minus 4n. So there they had given you the formula for A of n, which has to be used. Here they have given you the formula for S of n, which needs to be used. And they have asked us to find the AP, which means we have to find the first 3 terms. Now how do we find the first 3 terms using S of n? Let's see. S of 1 will be what? 4 into 1 square plus 15. So 4 into 1 square is 1, 4 into 1 is 4, 4 plus 15 is 19. Excuse me, sorry. So we have found the sum of first term as 19. But does it make any sense? Can the sum of one term, what is the sum of one term? What is the sum of 2? 2 itself, right? So the sum of first term is the first term itself, which means S of 1 always gives us A. Remember this, very important. S of 1 will always be A itself, because you are not adding anything to that. So finding S of 1, we found the value of A, which is 19. So now we found A equal to 19. Now we will do S of 2. S of 2 is equal to what? Using this formula, 4 into 2 square plus 15. So we get 4 into 2 square is 4, 4 into 4 16 plus 15, which is 31. So now we have got S of 2 as 31. What is S of 2 though? S of 2 is first term plus second term, right? So now we know S of 2 is 31, we know A is 19, we can find the second term. So what will be A of 2? 31 minus 19, which is 31 minus 19 is 12, right? So we found A of 2. So we found the second term, which is 12. Now to find S of, we do not have to find S of 3 and all that to find the third term. What we can do is, we got the first and second term, we can find the common difference. What is the common difference? 12 minus 19, which is minus 7. Now we know the common difference, we can easily find the third term. Second term is 12, 12 plus D, that is 12 minus 7, that is 5. So the third term is 5. It's a decreasing AP. It's decreasing by 7. So 19 minus 7 is 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. So we found the first term, first 3 terms. Hence the AP is 19, 12, 5, dot, dot, dot. We found the AP. Guys, this very important problem that I am solving, just remember, these are the tricky kind of questions that come when you do not have anything and they've given you a special formula for S of n. How do we find the first term? S of 1 will be the same as the first term. Once you find S of 1, and if you find S of 2, you can use S of 2 equal to A plus A2, and you can find A2. Alright, guys, we'll solve one more problem. Question is, how many terms of AP minus 6 minus 11 by 2 minus 5 are needed to give a sum of minus 25? So how many terms of this are needed to give this sum? What do we need to find? How many terms? How many terms are needed? Which means we need to find n is how much? How many terms, right? Is needed to give sum of minus 25, which means they are given us S of n is equal to minus 25. We do not know the value of n. That is what we need to find. How many terms are there? A we know from this is minus 6. D will be, we can do second term minus first term or third term minus second term. It does not matter. I'll do second term minus first term. That is minus 11 by 2 minus of minus 6. Guys, be very careful when you are doing this, because the signs and all you have to take very carefully. So it will become minus 11 by 2 plus 6. Now we have to take LCM. So I'll put 6 by 1. LCM of 2 and 1 is 2. So here into 2 into 2. So here it becomes 2 minus 11 plus 12. That is 1 by 2. So what is the value of D? 1 by 2. Now we know S of n, A, D and D. We can find the value of n. Which formula will I use? I'll use the first formula for S of n. Why? Because I do not know the last term. So what was it? S of n equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now S of n is minus 25 equal to n by 2 into 2a, that is 2 into minus 6, that is 2 into minus 6 plus n minus 1 into d, d is 1 by 2. Now I'll transpose this 2 on the other side, it becomes into 2, so this will become minus 50 equal to n into 2 into minus 6 minus 12. Okay, now what I'll open the brackets here, 1 by 2 into n plus n by 2 minus into plus minus 1 by 2. This is what I get, right? Now simplifying, minus 50 equal to n into, I'll take LCM here, which means here it is 1 into 2, above also into 2. So 2 into minus 12 minus 24 plus n minus 1 by 2. Right? Now can I transpose this 2 there? Yeah. Why? Because it is something into something by 2. So I can transpose this 2 this side. It will become minus 50 into 2 minus 100 equal to n into minus 24 minus 1 minus 25 plus n. Now when I open the bracket, what do I get? Minus 100 equal to n into minus 25 minus 25n plus n into n square. Now guys, if you know there is a n square value, there is n value and 100 value. So it is a quadratic equation. I'll transpose everything on one side. Basically I'll transpose minus 100 on this side. So what will I get? N square minus 25n plus 100 equal to 0. Now how will you solve this? If you remember from last year, you used to find zeros of quadratic equation. How? By factorization method or by splitting the middle term. That is one way to do it. Also guys, you can use a formula method which you learn in quadratic equations chapter later, but it's actually a valid formula that you can use to find the values or zeros of this equation. The equation is minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. This is another formula that you can use. I hope you know what is B, A and C from previous year. B is, what is A? A is whatever is there with n square. What is B? Whatever is with n. And you have to take the negative sign, remember. So B for this will be minus 25. What is C? The constant, that is plus 100. So if you take, what is A? What will be A here? 1. B is minus 25 and C is 100. If you substitute in this formula, you will get the two answers. That is why it is plus or minus. Once you will add here on top, once you will subtract on top. But for this we can use factorization method itself because the numbers are very simple. It will be easy to factorize. When will you use this generally? When it's difficult to use factorization method. But remember this formula guys, make a note of it if you want to. It is also there in the formula sheet. So you can see it there as well. Go to downloads and download the formula sheet for maths, and I have noted this in this chapter as well. Alright. So now for factorization, what do we need? If you remember, first term into last term, 100 into 1. So when you multiply, you should get 100. First into last term. Middle term is 25, minus 25. So you need two numbers, which when you add, you get minus 25. When you multiply, you get 100. Which means both numbers will be negative, right? Because minus into minus will give plus, minus minus will give you minus. So when you add, you should get negative. When you multiply, you should get positive, which means both numbers are negative. Now, which are the two numbers which when you add, you get minus 25, and when you multiply, you get 100. 20 into 5. So minus 5 and minus 20. Minus 5 into minus 20, 100. Minus 5 minus 20, minus 25. So I am splitting the middle term, n square minus 5n minus 20n plus 100 equal to 0. So I'll pair these two. What can I take common? N. N into n minus 5, which means here I should get n minus 5 as well, right? What can I take common to make it? Minus 20 goes out. So I get n minus 20 and n minus 5 equal to 0. Which means n minus 20 equal to 0 and n minus 5 equal to 0, which means n equal to 20 and n equal to 5. Now we got two answers for n, that is 20 and 5. What was the question? How many terms of this AP are needed to give sum of this? Now sum of 20 terms also will give us this, sum of 5 terms also will give us this. Surprising. Why? Guys, this AP is an increasing AP because D was positive, but it starts from negative. So what happens when you add this and this, you will get a negative term. This and this, another negative term. So as you keep adding this, you will get a higher and higher negative term. Then when the positive terms start, then again the number will decrease. So you at some point when you add these negative terms, you will get minus 25. Then it probably, for example, it will increase more. It might become minus 26, minus 27. But when the positive terms start, again it will come back, right? Minus 27 plus 1 will become minus 26. Then again it will, at some point of time, the sum will become minus 25. That is why you have two different answers here. Whenever a AP consists of negative terms, or if it is a decreasing AP, there are possibilities that the sum of two different number of terms will give you the same sum. So guys, I hope you understood how we got how we have solved the problem and how we got two answers for the same question. Understood, right? Since negative terms are involved, as we add the negative terms, the negative value will keep decreasing, or rather the value will increase, but the term number is decreasing. After some time you will get minus 25, then probably it will go to minus 26, minus 27, and then when the even positive numbers start, again it will come back from minus 27 to minus 26, and it might reach minus 25 again. So if you add 20 terms and 5 terms, you get the same answer. Alright guys, the next question and the last question that we'll solve in this module is this. Find the sum of all 3-digit numbers which are divisible by 5. Now before that, what we'll do is, which is the first 3-digit number? 100. Which is the last 3-digit number? 999. Right? Now, sum of all 3-digit numbers which are divisible by 5. The first 3-digit number is 100, which is divisible by 5. So the first number will be 100. Which will be the next number? 105. Which will be the next one? 110. So on. Till the last 3-digit number which is divisible by 5. 999 is not divisible by 5. 998 is also not divisible. 997 and 996 are not divisible. The last number divisible by 3-digit number divisible by 5 is 995. And we need to find the sum of all these numbers. Now is this an AP? Yes. Since they are divisible by 5, what happens? They are all multiples of 5. So each number will increase by 5. So all the numbers are increasing by, all the terms are increasing by 5, which means it is an AP. So what will be A in this? 100. What is D? D will be 5. And we know the last term, that is 995. And they have asked us to find the sum of all 3-digit numbers. So we need to find S of n. We know the first and last term. So we can use the second formula, that is n by 2 into A plus L. But We do not know the value of n. We do not know how many terms are there from here to here. How do we find the number of terms? We know the last term. So the n value of the last term gives us the total number of terms. If you remember, we have discussed this in the previous module as well, and in this module also previously. Very important thing for you to understand. If you know the last term, the n value for the last term is the same as the number of terms. So we'll take this as a of n. So our 995 is a of n. A of n formula. A of n equal to a, that is 100, plus n minus 1 into d, that is 5. I'll transpose this here, it becomes minus 100. So this becomes 895. 995 minus 100 equal to 5n minus 5. I transpose this minus 5, it becomes plus 5. So it becomes 900 equal to 5n. So n equal to 900 by 5. 5 1s are 40 is 8s are 80. So n is 180 for the last term, which means how many terms are there? 180 terms. So now we know a, we know d, we know l, and we know n. We can find s of n. So that is s of 180. There are 180 terms, so we have to find s of 180 will be equal to n by 2 into a plus l. Right? So 2 1s are 90s are. So we get 90 into 100 plus 995. So we get 1095. 995 plus 100 is 1095. Now so we just need to multiply these two. 1095 into 90, right? 0 0 0 0. Here I put across. 9 5s are 45. 9 9s are 81. Plus 4, 85, 9 zeros are 0 plus 8, 8, 9 1s are 9. So 50589. So what is the answer? 98,550. So the sum of all 3-digit numbers divisible by 5 is 98,550. So guys, I hope you have understood how we manipulate some S of n formulas. Totally 3 formulas to learn in AP. Very simple, very easy. All you need to understand is what is given in the question. You need to find if they have given A, if they have given D, whatever is given, that is what you need to take. And even more importantly, you have to understand what is being asked to find. So what you have to find, that you need to be able to point out and find. AP is actually a very easy chapter. Don't worry about it. Give your test too. Hope you do well, and we'll continue discussing. Like the next module will have explanation module is where I'll be doing word problems. But before that, it's better if you give the test too.